Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Roadmaster StowMaster Tow Bar. Now this is going to be a coupler style tow bar, which is a little bit different than some of the other ones out on the market by way of attachment to the RV. This one attaches with a coupler style, just like a trailer, rather than going directly into the hitch. And it's also going to be available in a few different configurations. Today we have it in our 2-inch ball configuration. You can also get it with a 2 5/16 coupler to match up to that ball mount, or even a lunette ring. And in fact, you can get two sizes on the lunette ring. It's going to be a 2.5 or a 3-inch, but all of the configurations are going to come in at a 6,000 pound weight capacity. Something that is going to be a requirement with this tow bar is getting a base plate that has a crossbar style. Due to the nature of how this attaches to the towed vehicle, it does need to bolt up to those pins, and it's going to be essentially the same from one base plate to the other. A lot of times manufacturers will have a invisible crossbar versus a crossbar style, and really it comes down to just the arms and the attachment points on the outside. Just make sure you're getting that crossbar style again to get this attached. I think the main benefit of this tow bar is going to be its ease of hooking up, but also the fact that this stows on the towed vehicle. So if the towed vehicle is your get around and you have multiple construction trucks or different RVs that you go around and that you have one primary flat towed vehicle, this will store on there. So really it makes it to where you can flat tow with anything with a ball mount as long as it matches up to the weight capacity on the hitch. So that's really nice. Again, this kind of keeps it a little bit more specific to the towed vehicle, whereas your traditional ones in the hitch on an RV, you're going to be storing it on the back of the RV, and if you want to remove it, it's a little bit heavy, whereas this one, you don't need to remove it. This style is a little bit slightly different than some of the standard tow bars that you see out there for a few reasons, but one of them is this is a binding style tow bar, and what that means is when you start driving, it's going to lock these arms in place, and that's what it's designed to do. But when you go to unhook, unless you're on perfectly flat level ground, it can get a little bit difficult to get these to release. This one's not too bad right now, but if this was to be in a bind and there's pressure against it, you may need to get a separate release tool in order to get this to release. So if you've ever seen someone at a campsite smacking their tow bar with a hammer, more than likely it's because it's a binding style. And so it's a little bit more difficult to get this to release. But at the same token, I think you can still probably get this to release from the coupler to give a little bit of wiggle room to be able to get this to, get out of that tension bind and draw this back pretty easily. So with that being said, I'm going to get all of my components unhooked and I'll show you how this stows. Coupler is going to be just like a trailer, so we'll get our linchpin out, get our coupler drawn back, and then we should be able to lift this up. You'll just simply push those buttons to get these to release in. And then the telescoping feature is very interesting because this really does fold into a much smaller configuration. And to do that, you'll find underneath here, there's this little slide here, and it goes into a portion on the bracket that's going to hold that in place to where it's not going to, draw in as you're going down the road. It's going to be at that full max width. But once you have it in this vertical position, you can just simply draw this back. And then, as you put this over, you'll have this little pin here that it's going to allow you to get your cotter pin in place. You can slide that over. And now your tow bar is stored on the front of your vehicle. This all stowed up and you're ready to drive with it just like this. Now there is going to be a tow bar cover available if you want to get that to cover this up to help protect it, but as you see on this sticker, made with stainless steel means that it's going to really hold up long term. This whole shaft is stainless, so are the arms. And you're going to get nice actuating through the arms. You have nylon all throughout here to keep it nice and smooth. And there's also going to be caps on the end of this stainless bar. They're going to keep any road grime from accumulating and breaking it down. Being that it's stainless, you really don't have to worry about this long term not holding up to the elements, but you also have a black powder coat finish on anything else. So it is going to hold up. Even on the front of your vehicle, hitting any road grime should do a fine job of just outlasting, anything else that you might be able to find out there. Now, something else that's kind of unique with this crossbar style is there's angle iron across this entire thing And I think a lot of times people will go with a style like this because it gives them a little bit more assurance that it's going to be durable and sturdy. It's personal preference, I think, for a lot of people, but this is definitely a heavy duty style tow bar, especially with that crossbar style. If you ever do need to remove this, it's actually really easy as well. The linch pins on top, just pull these off, and there's going to be alignment pins at the bottom that slide into our crossbar style. So as you can see, pretty easy to move. It's 38 pounds, so it's not terribly heavy, and the way that it folds up, I'm pretty actually happy with the space, and it's super easy to move. It's not flopping around. Everything holds in place really well. So it does make it super easy if you do have to store it for whatever reason. Something I would recommend though is if you plan on leaving this on the front of your vehicle, you might want to take a look at some locking pins from Roadmaster. That way you can lock this in place and know that it's going to at least have a deterrent for anyone to, that might come by and want to take a look at your tow bar. It's going to scare them off and keep this safely on your vehicle. With the tow bar off, that makes it easy to kind of get your vehicle back to a pretty clean look. You can still remove the arms just as you would a removable arm base plate that doesn't have the crossbar style. You just have these brackets that are a little bit different, but once you kind of get this all taken back, you'll have a clean look. And then to get these snapped back in place, you just quarter turn those in, and then you can drop your tow bar in nice and easy. And when you're ready to hook up again, no problem. You can see this actually kind of slides this out for you. You can then walk this out and really get this dialed in exactly where you need it to go because of the telescoping arms. So you can see I'm a little short here. I'll just drag this forward a bit, and it's very light to do that too. You don't have to fight it. We'll drop this on our ball, get this in place, get our linch pin in, and then we're ready to get the rest of the components in place, get our vehicle in flat tow mode, and hit the road. Normally I'm used to the hitch mounted tow bars, but I kind of like this. It does offer a nice easy hookup. You can really be a decent distance away or apart to get this hooked up, so it is very easy there. I like that it's really pretty simple. It drops in on your crossbar style. You can still remove your arms and everything's nice and clean. I like how it sits on the vehicle, so not a bad option. It's definitely not one that I've ever really considered, but if you're considering it, I think it's great. It's super simple yet robust, and I think you're going to be really happy with it.